Alright guys, Tactical here back again today, and we're going to crack on quickly because a lot of stuff has happened over the last few hours. Announcements related to the CDL League, also things related to Modern Warfare, of course, and some team stuff as well we're going to get into. No time for caution. Like if you guys enjoy, subscribe if you are new as always. Let's crack on with it here. We do have a confirmation tomorrow. An update will be coming to the game, adding Hardpoint into the actual public match rotation, in addition to a new multiplayer and ground war map. The multiplayer map is called Shoot House. It was rumoured that this map was actually a 2v2 one, but as Charlie Intel just said, breaking update, Activision PR rep has confirmed to us that Shoot House is a 6 versus 6 map. We've got a new map in the game as of tomorrow. Hopefully this is the road to the road to long-term success, right, for the competitive scene. It just sounds like a good name. Who knows if it'll be a good map, who knows, but yeah, whatever. Thought I'd run that past you guys because it's obviously a pretty key thing. So yeah, Charlie Intel goes on to talk more about it here, and also there's going to be other tuning adjustments coming in tomorrow's patch as well. We've heard these rumours around Footsteps, Claymore's going to be adjusted. The game could get a hell of a lot better tomorrow, at least significantly better. It's going to take time for things to completely turn around, but you know, hopefully we're on the right track here. So wanted to follow up on yesterday. I talked about fellow royalty General Nagafen and Exotic. CDL Intel says never mind. Who knows whether this is really true. The other things as well. So got to run that past you guys as well. In a second here, we will of course get on to the massive news of the entire league structure being announced. And all of the teams have pretty much said when you're going to be able to go there to that city and have the events and who they're going to be hosting at those events. So really big news today. We'll go on to that in a few minutes time. I'm sure you guys will be interested. But before we get to that, some Rostermania rumors stuff, talking about coaches. TJ says that the Huntsmen coach is not TP and that the OpTic gaming coach Sender, which is rumored to be Sender, of course TJ's still on OpTic gaming, sketched on them to join Chicago. So yeah, I'll play the clip.
Is it really T? It's not T. Of course. So the GR coach sketched on us to join fucking Chicago. Don't really care though. Don't care at all, actually. Actually kind of happy.
Interesting stuff that, and as you can see in this screenshot right here, so this is a slasher, so the OpTic team versus up against the NRG Chicago squad. Vicento seems to be, spectating the OpTic guys. Interesting, because of course Vicento is related to this Bad Mood Talent stuff now as like a CFO or something. Whether he'll still be doing some analyst or coaching work this season would be really interesting to see. And then NRG have like NRG Codcaster, that's the name of their person, so, no official announcements, nothing gets spoiled right at that point, so that could be Sender, that could be what TJ Halley is talking about. Wanted to run this past you guys as well, related to Modern Warfare. Attach said that him and a few more people are going out to help fix the game and the spawns. He talks about it with Illy here on stream. That'd be a good approach.
Fucking get cracked.
I would be screwing tomorrow, but gotta go fix the game.
Wait, what happened? You're going to fix the game?
Yeah, a couple people and I are going to try and fucking fix spawns.
Eliminate our enemies.
Wait, I like the spawns.
So yeah, hopefully there's some truth to this as well, that Attach and some other pros are going to be flying out looking at how domination and hardpoint works. We see clips every single day on Twitter about like the way the spawns are at the current time, and it's not pretty at all, right? And if they can try and if the developers are actually willing to listen here, which would be great news, and I'm sure Activision really has a tight leash on them, right? That was the main benefit I saw really in franchising, was that we're going to get to a point where the developers are forced to conform to competitive play because it's such a big, so much revenue involved for Activision, right? They've taken $25 million at a minimum of all of these 12 teams. They have to make their game competitively viable in order for the league to prosper and to succeed, and for people like you and me to actually watch the league and be interested to watch it if it's a good and interesting competitive game to watch. That's obviously key. Finally, maybe that is actually coming to reality, which is something key to hope on. Yeah, FaZe Atlanta. This is a key question. Adam Fitch at Esports Insider, I'll leave his article linked down below. He talks about, he talked to one of the FaZe guys. How exactly was this possible to maintain the name? So what they talk about is that they co-own the franchise with Atlanta Esports Ventures, and it was widely believed that brands had to be exclusive. I can say to you on that, you can talk to the league about it. We worked with the Call of Duty League for months about the branding, right? So it was really up in the air whether they'd be able to do this and get away with co-owning an organization and also having their name in there, which obviously was a key point to them. Nade Shot and 100 Thieves said that the fact that they wouldn't be able to have their name was a key turnoff. FaZe have managed to do it, which maybe spells better things for next seasons going forward, trying to attract maybe the likes of 100 Thieves back if they can keep that branding. Let's move onwards then. A couple of you guys tagged me in this related to what Formal said. He's been good at interaction farming basically lately. About to play the fake hollow shell that is now considered OpTic, and these were the scores according to Pokelane on Reddit from the scrims they had, OpTic versus Huntsmen. So obviously pretty irrelevant stuff, but I'm sure some of you guys would be interested in that. Let's move on to the main topic of today then. I've really rushed through all of that stuff. Let's get to the juicy stuff, which of course is the World Tour for 2020. Let's go through exactly what's going to be happening with the Call of Duty scene this season. Pre-sale for select events starts on November the 12th. You can sign up very, very soon indeed. I'm sure if you go to all these teams, Call of Duty pages, if you guys are fans and are supporting of teams that I don't go through in the next couple of minutes here, then I'm sure you can find all the relevant details on their page. But let's have a look through this then. So of course this is going to be pretty big for you guys. Honestly, this might kind of work. Okay, you can't really see much. Okay, that's better, isn't it? So Minnesota, the launch weekend beginning January 24th to the 26th, as we have known. Now, interestingly, I thought that effectively they were going to be touring the league around the world, which basically they are, but not all of the teams will be at each of the weekends, effectively is the way it's going to work. Sometimes there's just one weekend between, so you're going straight from Atlanta to Paris here, February 22nd, 23rd, straight to Paris, February 29th to March 3rd, and then, you know, once again, like a lot of back-to-back weekends here, which actually is very interesting. Pretty sure, damn, this is like all back-to-back weekends. At the start, we have a couple of weekends off in between, but pretty much after the first couple of weeks, every single weekend there is Call of Duty action in one of these cities, and they're touring it around the world. Not all of the teams will be there. We'll go into that in just a second here, but honestly, it's fantastic to know ahead of the season like this, now we're sitting here in November, what all of the games are going to be effectively for the rest of the season. You know, we can actually start planning things. Obviously, I'm going to do everything I can to be at both the London ones. There was also thinking maybe I'll go to the Paris one, but I definitely won't be able to make this one for Paris. More than likely, I won't be able to make that one if it was to happen. But yeah, London, if you guys are watching and you're from the UK or you're thinking of coming to the London one on February 8th to 9th, I will do my utmost to be there. And yeah, CDL London was absolutely phenomenal this year. If it's anything like that, maybe it won't be because it's not quite the same event feel, right? Hopefully there'll still be a lot of people there though, and we can get some home crowd support, get the bevies out, and then we might be in for a cracking weekend. So yeah, that's what it's looking like. Now, if you have a look at the way this works here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So yeah, 10, 11 plus Minnesota. Of course, the Los Angeles, there's 2 teams there, so they only do it once, right? The mid-season weekend, as far as I understand it, is effectively going to be the Stage 1 playoffs, I can imagine. So you've got all of these events, and then I guess at the end of in the mid-season, now the way they describe it as mid-season rather than like a Stage 1, Stage 2, kind of maybe implies to me that the rankings of the teams will continue through to the end of the season, which is interesting. We have heard that there's going to be like 8 teams that make the playoffs, and then like some maybe it was 6 teams, and then you have a couple or maybe quite a few like wildcard spots for other teams. I think there's going to be a lot of teams at the playoffs in case you're like 11th or 12th, then I'm pretty sure you miss out. But apart from that, I think you've got a good chance of still being at the playoffs. And yeah, the mid-season weekend I'm thinking is going to be Stage 1. But the way they say mid-season, who knows? It's to be announced anyway. They're not exactly sure it's going to be. Pretty much all these teams, not all of them, but a lot of them have said that they've already announced kind of where their home stadium is going to be and things like that. So you guys can, of course, already start preparing. And then moving onwards again, we have starting with Minnesota on May 9th to the 10th. So the first stage will finish about the end of April, something like that. Then you'll have a playoffs probably the weekend after or 2 weekends after, and then you're straight back into the league. So there's not too much break here, which is honestly pretty good to see. As you can see, some of the weekends are like 3-day weekends, I'm pretty sure. So the Minnesota launch weekend, of course, is like a 3-day, whereas the other ones are pretty much just a Saturday and Sunday, which is kind of nice, to be honest, because, yeah, given that a lot of people work full-time, it's quite difficult to get down to London to watch events unless I was going to take the whole Friday off, right? And I'd just have to really come, if I was to, on Saturday and Sunday. And who knows, you know, guess what, right? It's already 8th to 9th on the February, Saturday, Sunday, so we don't even have to worry about the whole Friday situation. You know, Minnesota, Paris, Seattle, Atlanta, New York, Los Angeles, London again, June 20th to 21st. I'll do my utmost to be there. I think I should be able, well, I don't know, it might be difficult. Who knows? We'll try and keep it clear. So yeah, Chicago, Dallas, Toronto, Florida, and then the championship weekend at the end of the season, which will probably be earlier than we're typically seeing. So honestly, a very short season on the whole, which is somewhat worrying, right? It starts end of January. It's going to be finishing early August, which is like, that's not a very long season, especially because there's not going to be other events going on. This is the league, right? There's a league now. We've probably got a mid-season, we've got an end of season, effectively 2 championships from my understanding. So very, very interesting, and I'm sure that resonates with some of you guys, and maybe it could be really well done. I'm looking forward to it, but keep in mind here, not all of the teams are at every single thing. So this is what London came out with earlier today. Does that just about fit on the screen? Yeah, it does. So February 8th to 9th, Chicago, Dallas, Los Angeles, Guerillas, New York Subliners, Paris Legion, Seattle Surge, and Toronto Ultra all going to be there then. But on the June 20th to 21st, there's only going to be 5 teams. And some of the bigger names, the Chicago and the Dallas, for example, aren't going to be attending this one. So I'm guessing, you know, tours around the world, but every team isn't going every single weekend because that would be pretty ridiculous. But I guess on the whole, everyone will play the same amount of games because how else are you going to do it? But on this one, there's only 5 teams, and towards the end of the season, you can kind of see these teams, maybe with the exception of the FaZe team, not being the most competitive ones. So, you know, maybe that's good or bad, right? Because if you're a Royal Ravens, you're a London fan, this could be a weekend of good results, whereas this could be a weekend of much more difficult results. But we'll have to see how things go. Also wanted to say this, that London quoted their own tweet and said, what if we said this isn't the only announcement we're making tonight? There is a rumour that the final substitute for the Royal Ravens is going to be, I think, Mad Cat in addition to Shawnee. So that's the rumour right now, and, you know, maybe that's been announced by the time this video goes live. The Subliners actually switch up their the way they're designing their thing a little bit, and they've got 5 teams at both of their homestand games, as they describe it here. So March 14th, 15th, and June 6th to 7th. Atlanta, both times. Dallas, first time. Chicago, second time, and you know the other teams are different apart from Toronto as well. So Los Angeles Guerillas, Seattle, Minnesota, Paris. So switching things up a bit there. Thought I'd switch it up a little bit and show you guys what's going on around the world. And the same thing for FaZe, that they have a very similar, pretty much exactly the same graphic here that London used. So I guess the Call of Duty guys made it for them. This is what you're seeing in Atlanta: Chicago, Huntsmen, Florida Mutineers, London, Minnesota, OpTic Gaming, Paris, Toronto, and then the second time we've got, you know, Dallas on this occasion. We've got Florida Mutineers again, the Royal Ravens again, the Guerillas not this time, and you know the Minnesota comeback and the Subliners as well. So interesting stuff. And just to go through the Chicago one as well, they actually made a slightly different bit of branding here, or you know, however they're going to describe it. April 4th to 5th. If you guys want to fly out to Chicago, or maybe you live locally, to see the OpTic or NRG, NR Green Wall, whatever you want to describe it as. Dallas are going to be here both times. This, of course, is quite the exciting thing, right? Because there could be a really hot rivalry. I really like the fact that they've had Chicago play against Dallas and play against OpTic Gaming LA and play against the Seattle Surge. Like, this is really well done, to be honest, because the issue is that Seattle has Karma on it, Dallas has Claystar, well, Clay and Crimsix, of course. And then you've got the LA Guerillas, so, you know, the Aches and that. And then you've got OpTic Gaming LA, and then you've got London. So, like, this is honestly really well done in terms of who is attending Chicago's event, because you want to keep the rivalries as best as possible. Because if you don't have the rivalries there, for example, I think with the London one, thankfully they have Paris both times as well. So you have that kind of local rivalry, right? Which is definitely the way to go. So I really like, on the whole, the way they've done this. It's the best of the situation we have. I'm sure a lot of you guys aren't still happy with the fact that we don't really have events, but I guess that is what it is. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like if you did, subscribe if you're new as always. Thanks for watching as always. I will see you next time.